Hi, I'm Dr. Caleb Kaufman with NorCal Physiotherapy. Let's talk a little bit about how frustrating low back pain is. I have been there. I know it's hard to treat low back pain because pain in the back is often not caused by the back. The back is more times a victim than a perpetrator. What we want to do with the back is make sure that these two areas are super cleared. We want to look at the hips and we want to look at the mid-back. Specifically, we want to look at hip activity and we want to look at low mid-back mobility. So think about your mid-back. If you're trying to do overhead lifting, you don't have that thoracic extension, that mid-back extension. What happens is the shoulders go up, you stay slumped over. To get high, you arch the back. Instead, what we want is we want the thoracic spine nice and straight. So as the shoulder goes up, the thoracic spine extends and the low back doesn't have to overarch. When there's overarching, that means the back is over moving. Add load on top of it with weights in your hand, that's going to equal pain. Same thing with the glute. What's going to happen is if the glutes aren't strong enough or if they're not activating well enough, as you're going through a hip hinge motion, you're pushing up, the glutes not activating, the back tries to work too hard and now you're arching your back. The back trying to lift a 405 deadlift is not going to end well. The back should stabilize the trunk, not lift the weight. The hip should lift the weight. So I want to show you two assessments, one for the mid-back and one for the hips, to see if you're moving in the right way and see if these can be contributing to your low back pain. I don't want to just leave you there. So with each assessment, I'm going to have a corrective exercise for you to do to show you how quickly change can happen. The first one we're going to look at is the thoracic spine. Thoracic spine is hard to assess because if you try to do its extension, oftentimes the low back comes and tries to overact for it. It's hard to stop that. So what I like to do is assess rotation. The rotation we're going to do is in this quadruped or kneeling position. You're going to have one elbow all the way between your knees. One hand is going to be behind your back. And what you're going to do is rotate up as far as you can. You should be able to look to the ceiling. Your shoulders should be at least 45 degrees, hopefully a little bit more. Now it's super easy to cheat with this, so don't shift side to side when you do it. Try to keep it here and then rotate up. As you can see, my mid-back is quite limited. I need to start working on that. All right, exercise for that. All you're gonna need is a PVC pipe and a towel. The towel helps you slide a little bit easier. You're gonna grab the PVC pipe all the way at the bottom. Make sure that the hand is gonna be touching the floor. Don't let the PVC pipe or broom or stick, whatever you have, touch the floor because it's not gonna move very well. Grab it all the way down with one hand and as high as you want for the other. Again, in your knees to lock out the low back to make sure that we're just rotating the thoracic spine. Down in this position, the hand's on the towel, other hand is all the way up. All you're gonna do is slide that towel away from you. Let your shoulder drop down to the floor. You should feel a good stretch in your mid-back and then coming back up. So sliding down, let it rotate, and then coming back up. Very easy exercise. You should be able to get at least 10 of these done. All right, after 10, switch to the other side, do 10 on the other side. All right, so problem number 2 is the hip extension. The nice thing about this is the assessment is the same as the treatment. So if you're terrible at the assessment, all you have to do is do it again, get good at it, and that's your treatment. So again, quadruped. We want you on your hands and knees because this forces unilateral hip extension in a way that we can visualize the low back. So on your hands and knees, make sure your shoulders are directly above your hands. I don't want to see this. And your hips are directly above your knees. I don't want to see this. So nice stance here. All you're going to do is kick this foot up to the ceiling. Stomach stays tight and you're pushing back. So you should be able to lift the foot all the way up until your hip is nice and flat without arching the back. A lot of faults that I see include this motion or this motion and then this weird abduction rotation thing. You want to stay in a straight line. Pushing the hip back, get the glute to work, don't let the back bend, and then relax. So now comes the question is, if I can't do the assessment, how am I going to do the treatment? Easy, just don't go the full range of motion. What you want to do is get in that position again, keep your back nice and tight, and then kick this leg out until you feel your back arching, and then just stop there. Then relax back down. Progressively, as you do this more and more, you're going to feel that your back is moving less and you're able to go higher and higher with less compensations. So again, you should feel this a lot in your glute muscle. You're probably going to feel a little bit in your hamstrings too. Now, if that is too hard, take it down a step. It's hard to control this while we're trying to activate this. So what we're going to do is grab a chair. And then I want you to lean over it to support your trunk. So in this position here, I don't have to worry about my trunk or my stomach working. So all I have to do is work on that hip extension, hold it there, and then back down. Just to keep things easy, 10 reps on that first exercise, 10 reps on the second exercise. 2 or 3 sets a day should set you on the right track.